Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the late night edition of Brat Said That. I'm your host, Brat Jackson, and oh boy, we got so much to talk about today. First off, thank you for staying up. I know it's 7 p.m. on the West Coast, 10 p.m. on the East Coast, but I had some stuff to do today, that dreaded thing called work. But this weekend, we're going to get through all the weekends. I'm so excited. But as always, we start off cracking open that Coke Zero. Oh yes, I'll tell you, I love Coke Zero. I love it, I do. Alright. So, before we start, I got the Dodgers game on the background. I hope MLB doesn't get mad at me. I'm not trying to stream this. But here we go. Little, not full, but oh, there we go. And as always, let me get a little energy here. You know, it's past my bedtime. No, I'm joking. We start off inside the squared circle. Crown Jewel, 5 a.m. on Saturday. Did I wake up at 5 a.m.? Yes. Did I watch Crown Jewel? No. I had to watch it on a replay. But if you watched it 5 a.m., 8 a.m. on the East Coast, you saw a great show. Okay? I'll go over the results. Bronson over Roman. I thought that was crazy. Bronson, usually Roman doesn't lose twice. He lost to Bronson Reed twice. Him and the Usos. He says, I don't want to see y'all till Christmas. That was funny. What does this mean for the Roman Reigns, the bloodline? They've been doing this for the last 5 years. Oh, we're mad at each other, but we're nice to each other. We're family, but now we don't like each other. It's this constant circle. It makes me want to pull out my hair. But that's the best storyline that's been going on for the last 5 years. Rhea and Io Sky over the Kabuki Warriors. I don't think we're going to see the Kabuki Warriors teaming up that much anymore, I'll be honest with you. Rhea, Australian, had to be on the card. She's the biggest women's name going right now. So if you're in Australia, she's Australian. I know she's from Adelaide, and Perth is a little bit far-fetched. I don't know geography that well. But she's Australian. She had to be on that card. I'm just making sure I can see my live on here. I know we're live. I'm not going to do what I did episode 2. But usually I like to see live because that's the only time I can see the comments. It's when I go live. But if you watch Crown Jewel, then you saw John Cena versus AJ Styles. How good of a match was that? Those two, they've always had good chemistry. 37 minutes. John Cena was hitting all the other people's finishers. Tribute to Bray Wyatt. Rest in peace. That was awesome. We're going to start kind of talking about his last opponent. He's got 4 more dates, everybody. 4 more dates left of John Cena. I'm going to be heartbroken. I remember, I'll tell you a quick story. I remember seeing John Cena in an independent newspaper at the supermarket. He was the prototype. And then you follow him, ruthless aggression, smacking Kurt Angle. And then the whole Dr. Thugonomics, coming WWE Champion, then coming to face. I remember being 16, listening to his rap album. Some of those songs, I tell you, you should listen to that rap album, because that's a really good album. There we go. We are live. Okay, I see myself on the big screen. Oh, what a handsome fella there is. Alright, I just want to make sure. Okay. But yeah, who's going to be his last opponent? That is the main question. He's got 4 more dates left. I think there's a couple Raws, Survivor Series, and then his final match. I don't want him to... Why don't you just extend it to WrestleMania? Go out, WrestleMania, like you deserve. But he's going to go out on his own terms. He said 2025 is going to be the last year, and we're down to 4 more dates, everybody. It's heartbreaking for somebody who's followed his career through since 2002. I've been watching wrestling since '97, constantly, every week, every day. So seeing what he's done, he was the face of the company. We can do a whole retrospective of John Cena, and I want to because he deserves it. And then the last 2 match, and how good is AJ Styles? He is also on the way out. it's heartbreaking to see AJ, but he said that 2026 might be his last year. I've loved AJ Styles since I've seen him TNA. Hi, Liz, we miss you. You need to come back. I know you're over there in Texas or somewhere. We miss you. We need you. I will talk to you about everything later. But then you got the Crown Jewels match. Stephanie Vasker, Tiffany Stratton. I don't really care too much because like the Crown Jewel is kind of like a kabuki-ish kind of like stipulation. So, Vasker, good for her. She deserves it. I don't like saying the word deserve. She won. She is a Crown Jewel Women's Champion. And then Seth over Cody. That was surprising. Usually you don't see Cody Rhodes, not Corey Rhodes, like that ESPN guy once said. No, it is Cody Rhodes. Okay? Get it right. If you're going to do your ESPN plug, get it right. Really, go watch it. It was good. It was on ESPN. I don't remember what the replay was, but Crown Jewel, I wish there was more matches. We're going to talk more about that a little bit later. But one thing I want to point out, when they were doing, how they do their post-show little press conference on the outside, the fans were singing Edge's theme song. How dope was that? I pray, Triple H, come on, please bring Edge back for one appearance. John Cena and Edge, the rivalry from 2006, carry the company. That is John Cena, one of John Cena's biggest rivals. We all remember New Year's Revolution 2006. John Cena just won the Elimination Chamber. He's down, he's beaten, he's bloodied. Edge comes out, cashes in the money in the bank, and wins the WWE Championship for the first time in his career. And then you have the whole summer of John Cena defeating Edge in Toronto, and then Edge defeating John Cena in Boston. And these two, it's like cats and dogs. You got to have one without the other. And I hope whatever they can do, please have Edge, even if it's just like an in-ring promo or a segment or just something to say, hey, John, you're leaving. Edge, thank you for everything. I don't know what they should do, but if they should do something, Edge, Triple H, Tony Khan, just make it happen, okay? We live in this tribalism era now. WWE, AEW, I know I always talk about how I don't watch AEW and I'm wearing an AEW shirt, but it's mostly for Long Island. But still, enough. Okay, it's the same business. You can work on getting together. You can work on getting people together from one company to the other. But I do want to talk about moving on from Crown Jewel, which I don't do ratings. I think I need all the let's talk. Brat said that. I don't care for Dave Meltzer. This is not going to be a Dave Meltzer shoot. I never cared about him. His ratings, his 5-star, 6-star, 7-star Toronto. Oh, what just happened? Something just happened? Oh, still 1-0. Okay. Sorry. Back. See, that's my short attention span. We're going to talk about the baseball games and the football game. We're going to talk about everything. So get your Coke Zero, get your pugs, relax. We're going to have a good night. The Vision. I did wake up at 6:30. I remembered, hey, there's wrestling on. Turn on wrestling. Watch a couple matches before I fell back asleep. The Vision, Bronson, and Ron Breaker, they turn on Seth Rollins. That's it. The Vision is over. I heard that Seth Rollins might be injured, so that's why they're going to take him out. But, wow. I think it's just a little bit too soon. I was really enjoying that faction. Even if it was getting a little repetitive, seeing the Vision, seeing Braun and Breaker and Bronson and Braun and Brawny. A lot of Browns. Turn on Seth Rollins. What does this mean? We always knew that Braun Breaker has a higher ceiling than Bronson Reed. And I like both those guys. But I think Braun Breaker is going to come out of this the strongest. I mean, that dude, he's got a main event WrestleMania one year. And I'm saying that right now, October 13th, 2025. Probably not next year. Probably not next year in Saudi. But Braun Breaker is going to be a WrestleMania main eventer. But that is... See, I'm also trying to transition more smoothly than saying or what. So I'm working on that. I've been looking up stuff how to transition. But other than Raw, NXT, I didn't. I reviewed the NXT Showdown last show. I haven't got to watch it yet, but I want to. But tomorrow, Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder, Long Island IZ is returning to WWE. How awesome is that? I've always been a huge Zack Ryder fan. I mean, yes, the Long Island connection is there. I remember watching him, my first very indie show, NYWC, him and Brian Myers as the Matthew brothers taking on, I don't remember, the Dead Presidents or somebody, and then seeing them and their career going to WWE and then back to the Indies and him becoming the king of the Indies. He is back home where I think he belongs. Because I said this once, and I'll say it again. Everybody comes back. Okay? If Bruno can come back, if Bret Hart can come back, if Stone Cold can come back, if CM Punk can come back, everybody come back. And Matt Cardona is... Because I'm just glad he's back. Because every single year, the Rumble happens, and it's like, oh, Matt Cardona's going to return. And he never returns, and it breaks my little heart. Just like with AJ Lee. She came back. And he's coming back tomorrow. He's facing Josh Briggs, I think. I have it in my notes. In my notes that he's going to return tomorrow. There's going to be a women's battle royale for the number one contendership. I think JC Jane is hurt. That could kind of tell a little bit of things. I don't know who the favorite is. But I do remember the ladder match that Sol Roca, that she won. And I was very, very interested in the women that were in that match. So I need to follow the NXT women's division more. Then we have Halloween Havoc on October 25th. I might be able to do like a tweet along with that. I think I have a comedy show in North Las Vegas that day. I got to check my notes. I got to talk to my agent, my planner. But other than that, really, SmackDown, nothing. We talked about SmackDown Friday, right? I don't remember. There's 6 episodes. 6, buddy. We're 2 fingers now. 6 episodes. But I do want to talk about, which I had a great time watching last night, TNA Bound for Glory. I think it's their WrestleMania. I know the Slammiversary and Bound for Glory. I want to say this one is their like biggest show because it definitely felt like a big show. Not the guy who chokeslammed people. Mickie James and the Beautiful People, Velvet Sky and Engine of Love inducted into the Hall of Fame. Mickie James, absolute legend. You know her from WWE. Heck, you even know her as Alexis Leray in the Independents. She got inducted to the Hall of Fame. I want her to get inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame. I wish she did a little bit more with the setup. It was just like them at a podium and their families. You know, I wanted more grander, but I know TNA isn't at that point right now to have like a big, like, you know, showing. But I loved it. I tweeted along the whole show. I got like 12 followers, so shout out to everybody who followed me on Twitter. Like I said, John Cena is following my account, so you should be able to. Go over Brat Said That X on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Give me a follow. I'm trying to build this up. You know, this is the 6th episode. I got a microphone. I'm getting like notes and stuff. Building it from the ground. I'm really enjoying this. I'm having really fun. Even if I get no viewers and just me sitting in this room talking to myself on the camera, I know a lot about wrestling and sports. So why not just keep it in this head and then let everybody talk about it, you know? But the back to Bound for Glory. See, I go on tangents. Stay with me, folks. The inspiration, Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay, a.k.a. the Iconics from WWE days. Billy Kay and... what is her name? Billy Kay and something else. See, I talk about how much I know wrestling. I don't know names. They defeated Heather by Excellence and M by Excellence. I know Ash by Excellence. She retired, gave up the title. And that match was for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship. good match, good little pre-show match. Then Bound for Glory opened. Steve Macklin, who was in WWE, took on Frankie Kazarian for the TNA International Championship. New champion, Steve Macklin, defeated the legend of Frankie Kazarian in the opening match. As I was tweeting, I was putting in my predictions, because you know how I don't do predictions when I do predictions. I had Macklin winning. I felt like that was a chance for him to regain that title. He was the inaugural champion. Now he is the champion once again. And Frankie Kazarian, he's a legend. He's been wrestling longer than I have toes and fingers. That is a legend of the game. And any spot you put Frankie Kazarian in, opening match, main event, world title, international title, you're going to have a great opener. Second match, Tessa Blanchard, not really a fan. I know there's a lot of stories about her and racism and not being very kind in the locker room. She teamed up, or was accompanied by Victoria Crawford, who is Alicia Fox, who I've always been a fan of. Alicia Fox, I don't think she ever got really what she was capable of in WWE, so seeing her in TNA is good. Defeated Gia Miller, and she was with Jody Threat. Now, I don't know anything about Gia Miller. I know she was like the backstage interviewer, and those two were kind of going at it. And it's kind of cool to see, I've always liked that like the non-wrestler backstage interviewer, like the Howard Finkel get in the ring. But she lost cheaply. Tessa Blanchard got a fistful of quarters and hit Gia while the referee wasn't looking. I guess that's what her dad, Tully Blanchard, did back in the day. So that was a little nod to him. The next match, I want to go over this match because I really enjoyed tweeting this. Like I said, I gained about a dozen followers. And I really found myself enjoying it. I like when there's more than just 5 matches. It felt different. WWE is seeming more like corporate now with the Slim Jims and the Rio and the other stuff. This felt more like what a wrestling pay-per-view should be. And this had a 22-person intergender Warrior Shot Gauntlet. Now, if you don't know what that is, the winner receives a trophy and a contract that can invoke anytime within 1 year, kind of like the Money in the Bank. And I was enjoying it. I would tweet it out every single entrant as it happened. The first entrant and the second entrant, it was Li Ying Li, who was Xia Li in WWE. She lasted not too long there. And then Jakara Jackson. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll tweet this out. And then, because I thought it'd be every 2 minutes, but it was every 30 seconds another person was coming to the ring. So my little fat fingers was tweeting badly quickly. But I was excited about Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler. He won it along with Frank. So this is what happened. It's pretty cool. So Jody Threat, who I just talked about, came out. And before she could get in the ring, Frankie Kazarian gave her the whole kibosh, took his spot. And Santino Marella, who is, I love Santino, he is entertaining, always been. He is the director of authority, kind of like the general manager. He was like, hey man, that's not cool. Santino got into the ring, and within about a second, just like he did in 2009, got eliminated. I love Santino Marella. Talking about Matt Cardona, he was in it too. Cedric Alexander, AJ Francis. Now, a lot of people don't like Top Dollar, which he was known in WWE, but I kind of do. He was a big guy. I know he kind of did the flop dollar, but AJ Francis, he's done enough to where I think he's earned his stripes. Now, I'm not anybody to say anybody should earn or deserves anything, but I like him. I don't think we should be talking about flop dollar. He deserves, or he is better than a lot of people give him credit for. And he's done other things in other promotions. But really, and then, so here's how it ends. I'm sorry, I get off track. It came down to Nick Nemeth and Matt Cardona. Well, I thought that was going to be the end, right? But Matt Cardona gets eliminated by Steph DeLanda, and I was surprised because usually I follow Matt Cardona and Steph DeLanda, and they're friends, but now they're not friends in TNA. She got eliminated, so it's like, oh, Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler wins, But he doesn't, because Frankie Kazarian snuck underneath the ring. And then he came out, and the two, Nick Nemeth and Frankie Kazarian, had a double pin. So both of them are declared co-winners, and both of them can receive a contract within any time they want. And I love gauntlets, I love battle royals, I love rumbles. A lot of people, I don't know if there's any surprises. I don't follow TNA too much to really tell you, like, hey, this is a surprise entrance. But it was cool. There was somebody named BDE. I don't know who that is, but he's like a YouTuber. He got a little hype behind him. He came in, he lasted a little bit. But other than that, the next match, Kalani Jordan took on Indy Hartwell for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Just not a basic match, but those two girls went at it. I want to see Indy do more in TNA. I've always been a fan of Indy in her NXT days with Dexter Loomis and The Way. And Kalani Jordan, she's doing a great thing. She's making a name for herself. And then we have, oh my God, and then we have the next match. See, I'm trying to learn how to transition from one match to the other. See, I talk a lot. The System took on Order 4. Now, I like the System. Brian Myers, another Long Island guy I follow. Moose, Alicia Edwards, Eddie Edwards, and JDC, who was Fandango in WWE, took on Order 4. I think that's Mustafa Ali's faction. And those two went an intergender hardcore war. Wow, proud of me for saying that right. Thumbtacks, chairs. Moose hit one of the Order 4 with a, what do you call it? A still something. I can't think. I need a drink. Hold on. What is it called? Something. He hit a spear, and then there was thumbtacks, and then what are you talking? I'm talking about wrestling. Wrestling. Devin, I'm talking about wrestling. That one thing you used to yell at me and Jason for watching constantly at the house. You know, we've watched wrestling since I was 14 when I met you, and I haven't stopped watching. And there was a big show last night. That's what I'm watching. I love how the last 3 viewers I've had have all been lovely ladies. But yeah, there's a hardcore war. It was awesome. Anytime there's a hardcore match. But here's the one thing. Here's the one thing I did not like. The next match, Leon Slater versus Javon Evans for the X Division Championship. They are both 21 years old. 2004 they were born. I am old, okay? They went 20 minutes, and everybody was chanting, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. And I was too. I was like, 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. And they went 3 minutes, and then Dark State from NXT turned the lights. They came out, ruined the match. I think that was the only bad part about the whole Bound for Glory. I love everything else, but I don't feel like Dark State should have came out, ruined that match. But the co-main event was a match everybody has talked about. One final table. The Hardy Boys versus Team 3D, with Spike Dudley making a rare appearance. It was nice seeing Spike, because if you watched his interview a few weeks ago, or about a month or so ago, with Chris Van Vliet, he kind of seemed like he didn't want to do anything really much about wrestling. But this was the Hardys and the Dudleys last time these two legendary tag teams faced off. And man, I felt like a 10-year-old kid watching it in 2000. You know, I was saying, get the tables, and I was going, what's up? And seeing the Dudleys hang up the boots, calling it a legendary career. Now, I'll be honest, I like Devon. Bubba Ray's kind of just call you what you want him. But those two are the most decorated tag teams in wrestling history. They took off their boots. I was a little worried about Devon. I'm like, I know Bubba can still go, but Devon, you've been out of the ring for a little bit. But seeing those two, seeing those four embrace, saying goodbye, it was like I said, with John Cena leaving, now you got the Dudley Boys retiring. It hurts. It hurts, you know. My youth is ending. But for transition of one person whose career is just starting to kick off, Mike Santana is the new TNA World Champion. He defeated Trick Williams. It was cute. It was a good match. It was exactly what it had to be. No really chicanery. Mike Santana won, defeated Trick Williams, and then he presents the belt to his daughter. They get wrapped in the Puerto Rican flag. Adorable. Tear in my eye. Man, I really want to start following TNA. It was fun. I really had a fun time. I was tweeting with some people on X. We were going back and forth. Like I said, I gained a couple followers. So I think I'm going to do that now. I wanted to do a watch along, but I'll be honest. I didn't pay for what I watched, or my friend paid for me. Yes, my friend paid for me, but my internet connection was a little, yeah. So we'll go with that. So I tweeted along. That was fun. So TNA Bound For Glory was probably the show of the night, of the weekend. I want more WWE pay-per-views to be like that. I really do. Because that show was great. I really seen the Hardy Boys and Dudley Boys, Team 3D, whatever you want to call them. Farewell. I'll tell you a quick story about Team 3D. I remember this was in 2005. They just got released or left WWE. I was at an independent wrestling show in New York. And those two came out, and I can still feel the electricity in the high school gym. It wasn't a big arena. It was just a high school gym. They came out fresh off of WWE, and I think they teamed with Plasma, who went on to be Trent Beretta. Right? And that, I just don't remember. I don't remember. It was like a random high school gym. NYWC put on. And then WrestleMania 33, like I said, I was there. And the Hardy Boys came out. 60,000 people. Same electricity. Two moments I'll never forget. And on two completely different scales. But that was really it with TNA. I really like doing that. I really want to follow TNA. One company I don't follow, and I know I'm wearing the shirt, AEW. Wrestle Dream is this Saturday. I'm not going to be able to really tweet about it because I got to go to work, but it's okay. But two new matches, Jamie Hayter versus Tequila? You tell me. And then you got the Hurt Business, who Bobby Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, always entertaining to watch, versus the Man, Ricochet, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona. I mean, that's cool. I'm sorry. I know I've been saying this for 6 episodes, but I've been trying to watch AEW. It doesn't interest me. You know, I'll take a shot. You know, I'll take a sip of drink for AEW, but you know, I will watch Wrestle Dream. See, the thing with that is, if you don't watch the show, like a pay-per-view, how could I watch it if I don't watch it when it's live? That's the one thing I want to know. I think it's on HBO Max now, but, you know. One thing that happened on Collision, Kota Ibushi, one of the legendary Japanese wrestlers, one of the legendary wrestlers overall, he broke his femur during the match with Josh Alexander. I broke my femur. I'll be honest. It sucks. So here is a speedy recovery for Kota Ibushi. It's not fun to break a femur. It's not fun to break any bone. But he'll bounce back. He's one of the best in the world. But overall, with that in the squared circle, I think it's time to move on. Perfect timing. To the MLB postseason. And yes, folks, our prediction for the World Series is still going strong. Seattle Mariners, 15 innings with the Detroit Tigers. Yeah, so I was watching okay, I'll tell you about my Friday night. I was watching the game, and it went to the 9th inning. It went to the 10th inning. It went to the 11th inning. And I had to go see Roastomania at Wise Guys Comedy Club. And I was like, I'll go when this game ends. 12th inning. And it was getting to like 9:30. I was like, shit, I gotta go. So I watched the game in the car on my way to the comedy club, which is only down the street. And I got to the comedy club, and they were still playing. So I was watching the roast battle, my phone in my other hand, which, if you can ever get to Roastomanias, go check it out. I'll never be on another one of those again, but they're great shows. Mike and Sean do a great job putting those on together. But Seattle defeated Tigers in 15 innings. And they are up 2-0 against the Blue Jays. 1-3-1 last night. Defeated them hard. I think it was 12-3 tonight, just a couple hours ago. And on the other side, we have the Dodgers and the Brewers. Brewers went 5 games with the Cubs. Oh, here comes coughing, folks. We are 30 minutes in, and I've only hit baseball. This is what I'm talking about. We might go an hour tonight. Get your blankets, because we're having a sleepover. The Dodgers defeat the Phillies after a bad play at home. Now, we will talk more about that later. But right now, the Dodgers, I can't tell because I don't have eyes on the back of my head. I'm sorry, it's a slow connection. It's okay. They're currently facing the Milwaukee Brewers. Like I said on episode 1, we predicted the World Series are going to be Seattle Mariners and the Milwaukee Brewers. Seattle, 2 games away from making that happen. 2 wins away. Brewers, I think they're down 1-0, but I think they're going to bounce back. And the Dodgers have no bullpen, really. That's what I've been hearing. But also, I do want to talk about, we all know, Toronto defeated the New York Yankees. The mighty Yankees, they're eliminated. They're in Cancun. Penny's poll was Aaron Boone should be fired poll. A lot of people said yes. I don't know if we talked about that on Friday. But the poll, Aaron Boone, listen, when you're the Yankees manager, your job is to win. Okay? You can get to playoffs every year, winning seasons back to back. But if you don't win the World Series, you gotta go. I don't know who would be a replacement, but it seems unanimously, Aaron Boone, you're fired. And really, with everything going on, let me check the score. Oh, still 1-0. So very close game. Seattle's up 2-0. Dodgers and Brewers battling out. This time, and that's all it with the baseball. Nothing much about the baseball. We're going to go to the courts now. Move on to the courts. MLB season starting in next week. Next Tuesday. So nothing. Like I said, we're going to watch the Dallas Mavericks versus Los Angeles Lakers on Wednesday. I'm excited. The first ever episode of Where Brat At. Video vlogs. I have a couple favorites. I got the Oklahoma City is the front runners to win it all. Let's be honest. I know I just started the show a couple weeks ago. They got a lot of help with Tyrese Halliburton being injured in the finals. If I think he was still playing Thunder, who's a young team, I like Chet Holmgren, SGA. They have a great team. Seeing them kind of build themselves up to finals champions. And I have the odds here. Cleveland Cavaliers, 650. The Denver Nuggets, 750. The New York Knicks, plus 1,000. New York Knicks haven't won a NBA Finals in... I don't remember. I really don't. I don't think in my lifetime. No. They need to. Because New York people, we remember. And we don't forget. Other teams' odds are the Clippers, Timberwolves, Rockets, and Warriors. We'll see. I know right now, baseball season isn't starting, so it's just a preseason. So we'll talk more about that when we get everything going and it start rolling. As a Dallas Mavericks fan, I hope Cooper Flag takes us to the next level. I'll be honest, I'm a huge Dallas Mavericks fan, but getting the number 1 draft pick, a little bit kabuki, a little bit of a suspicion. We trade Luka Doncic, and then the next year we get the first draft pick. When we had like a 1.8 odds, so you're telling me there's a chance. Hey, whatever works. Luka went to the Lakers. We got Cooper Flair from Duke. I'm excited. Like I said, where Brat at Mavericks vs. Lakers. It will be my first ever video vlog. I don't know how to film and edit. But hey, this is just the beginning. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do it. I will post that in a few days. But one thing I do want to talk about, congratulations to the Las Vegas Aces. Sweep, get out the brooms. Phoenix Mercury 4-0, their 3rd win in 4 years. How awesome is that? It is great to have a team in Vegas that wins. I don't have that much often when you're a Raider fan. I mean, the Golden Knights, their season just started. We're going to talk about hockey next. But wow, congrats to the Las Vegas Aces. A franchise, a dynasty, whatever you can call it. They are them. Wow, I saw the game 3 where Asia Wilson comes 2 seconds left for the win. The parade is October 17th, so that is going to be in 4 days. I will be working. I would have loved to have another Where Brat at video vlog, but one step at a time. So the Aces, congrats. I'll be honest, I know the WNBA got a lot of kind of hate this year, but they also got a lot of attention. They got a lot of publicity. No matter if it's good or bad, Caitlin Clark, she's a future. And then you have Angel Reese. They're back and forth. That's going to be a rivalry that I'm excited to see for the next few years. Hopefully that their teams, I know the Indiana Fever, they're good. I know the Chicago Sky is not that good. So hopefully they can face off. I don't know if they're the same division. I don't know how WNBA works. I've spent probably more time talking about the WNBA than some programs. Oh, is that bases loaded? Hold on. Oh, bases loaded. Top of the first. Oh, no, top of the ninth. Uh-oh. Milwaukee. You better watch out. But go Aces. Congrats. WNBA Champions. I might go get a nice Ace shirt. Represent. Hockey. We're going to go on the ice rink now. Hockey. Not much going on. Season's just starting. I had the favorites last episode. Right now it's a very exciting time because of baseball postseason. Best time of the year. Once that dies down, I'm going to have to figure out how to really engage in other like basketball. Like who's going to want to talk about, the Clippers versus the Jazz. Like I got lucky because it's the playoffs and those games mean stuff in the postseason. But yeah, hockey's starting off. I had a Penguin shirt on, but it didn't fit me. I am a Pittsburgh Penguin fan. Sidney Crosby, Darius Kasparaitis. Those are my guys. I remember, I'll tell you a story. Because you guys are going to learn a lot of stories about me. By the way, 40 minutes in and we're not even... we still got 3 huge topics to talk about. I remember for some reason, I never watched hockey growing up. Okay, I was always a wrestling fan. Wrestling. For some reason, I was watching a hockey game. Darius Kasparaitis and the Pittsburgh Penguins taking on, I think it was the Buffalo Sabres. And it was like the second round. Kasparaitis, game-winning goal, clinch it for the Penguins. He was celebrating that he slid on the ice, and 13-year-old or 12-year-old Matty J was like, that guy's awesome. I like the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I've always liked Pittsburgh Penguins. I get a lot of flack on it for Sidney Crosby, but that's a kid. That is a GOAT. I will die on that hill. That is my guy. They haven't done too great recently. They went back-to-back to 16 and 17. Haven't made the playoffs. Sorry, I'm just looking at the score. Oh, this guy's upset. Haven't made the playoffs in a few years. But, yeah, so hopefully Penguins can get to the finals. Maybe I would love a Penguins versus Golden Knights Stanley Cup. One can only hope. Marc-Andre Fleury, come on now, staple of the Golden Knights. Hold on, I think something just happened. 2-0. Uh-oh, Dodgers, you are running away with it. But we do have to talk about, it is Monday, football, last night, Sunday. I have my co-host, Chat LGBT. Every week on Thursday, he predicts the games. If you go to my Twitter and Instagram, Twitter, Brat Said That X, and then Instagram, Brat Jackson, the O in Jackson zero. Go check it out. He didn't do good this week. ChatGPT, I don't have the records right now, but you didn't do good. First off, you picked the Eagles to defeat the Giants, and Cam Scataboo said, that ain't gonna happen for me. The New York Football Giants looked amazing. And your lock of the week was the Buffalo Bills, and I can just see the live update. Buffalo Bills, they lost. They lost to the Falcons. Who loses to the Falcons? 3-2. Buffalo Bills, 4-2. God. But speaking about teams losing, we need to talk about how terrible, just talking about that, how terrible the Jets are. 0-6. Jeez Louise. 0-6. Went to London, couldn't even score more than 13 points. Come on, what a shame. I know they fired their head coach last year, Robert Saleh, 2 years ago. They have been dog shit. Excuse my French. But they have been so bad. So bad. I can see them going 0-17, really. The Jets need to do something. Maybe move to Connecticut or something. I don't know. But damn, they are... We're going to talk more about the Jets at the end of the show. But the Jets are just so bad. If I look at the Jets... Let me just look at who the Jets are going to face next. And see if they can even get a win. Oh my God, let's have the schedule. They lost to the Cowboys. Who loses to the Cowboys? God, Cowboys are horrendous. Next week they face the Panthers. That's a winnable game, but the Panthers defeated the Cowboys. The Bengals with now they got Joe Flacco on the Bengals. I don't see them beating the Bengals. Maybe the Browns. Maybe. The Patriots are looking good. They really are. I'm surprised. I'm a little upset. As a New Yorker, I was kind of hoping the Patriots would still be bad, but they seem to be turning things around. So I don't see the Jets winning that game. The Jets versus the Ravens. No Lamar Jackson. If he's not back by then, I think is that Thanksgiving? The Falcons, the Dolphins, the Jaguars, and the Saints. Okay, so you might... Oh, and then we got the Patriots and the Bills. So the Jets might win 4 games. And I'm being nice. So they need to do something. It's horrible. Speaking about needing to do something, we're going to talk about football for a while. 45 minutes left, and we still got 3 topics to talk about. I'm excited. I know it's people coming in and out. Come say hi, Dolphins lose again. Is Mike McDaniel's job on the line? Man, you had that division for a while, and you really never did anything with it. I know the Dolphins are historically like a good team, kind of. But, come on, Dolphins. You really need to, you're not going to win the division. Well, the Bills just lost today, so the division's up in the air. I don't know. It's too early to call if people's jobs on the line. Ravens, they're struggling with Lamar Jackson. The Colts are 5-1. Daniel Jones, comeback player of the year? I would say so. I've always liked the Colts. The Colts have always been a good team. Peyton Manning, Pat McAfee, Andrew Luck. The Panthers, like I said, I wrote a huge upset over the Cowboys. Anytime the Cowboys lose is good. So congrats to the Panthers. My nephew James is the biggest Panther fan out there I know. I can hear him screaming. And he lives on the other side of the country for that win. Patriots are making a good showing. Years of struggling after Brady and Belichick. Is there new life in New England? Could be. They're doing really good. Like I said, I'm a little upset that they're doing that good. I really hate to say it, but Aaron Rodgers, it might be his last season. He's showing a good performance in Pittsburgh. I don't like Aaron Rodgers on like not a personal level because I never met the guy, but like I don't like him and his like spread of misinformation. But hey, taking Pittsburgh, I'm trying to get the standings. Sorry, ChatGPT, put on the standings, please. He's like my little co-host. Yeah, Patriots are 4-2, Bills 4-2, Dolphins 1-5. They're doing a lot worse than I thought. Wow. But yeah, the Jets need to do something. The Steelers 4-1. That division, you can wrap it up. No Lamar. The Bengals aren't that good without Joe Burrow. The Browns are 1-5. Yeah, Steelers are just, as long as they don't choke. The Colts are in a good division, 5-1 behind Jacksonville Jaguars. My division, the Raider division, we won. The Raiders won. They might have beat the worst team in the league, but they won. Hey, 2-4, and the Chiefs are 3-3. So we might not be the worst team in the AFC West this year. The Chargers and Broncos 4-2. I'm just giving a quick update here because it's too early. It's been 6 games, 17 games out of the year. The Eagles, that division's always been bad, but the Commanders are doing really good. Not really good, but they're doing a lot better. They made it to the NFC Championship last year. And I think they're playing now. I think they're facing the Bears. Oh, they're up by 2 in the fourth quarter. So, let me check a score check. 2-0, bottom of the ninth with 1 out. Come on, Milwaukee. I said you're going to the World Series. Don't make me look like a fool. Back to base. We're going back and forth. It's like a race. Packers, Lions, Vikings, and Bears. Oh my, that's gonna be a good division to watch. Buccaneers 5-1. Baker Mayfield. Oh my God! Shout out to Baker Mayfield. I've liked Baker when he was on the Browns, and then he went to the Rams for like a day, then the Panthers, and now he's on the Buccaneers. Perfect team for Baker. That division, I see them going to the playoffs. Then the NFC West, 49ers, Seahawks, Rams. That's going to be a good tight race. I remember back about 10 years ago, that was the worst division in football. They were like 7-8 or 7-9 and they made the playoffs. But football is heating up. I will be honest. Football is heating up. A lot of teams are in it. A lot of teams are out of it. But the Jets out. I was going to wait till the end of the show. And I since we're on the topic of football, as you know, Monday we give out the BratWurst of the week, which really is like the worst moment in sports. Or like last week we gave it out to Hollywood Haley J for showboating and then getting smacked. It came down to Orion Kirking for the Phillies. If you remember, the Phillies, the little ground ball up the middle, throws it to the catcher. The catcher misses. The Dodgers advance and the Phillies lose. I was gonna give him the BratWurst of the week, but I felt bad. I really did. I don't like the Phillies. Never have. Grown up in New York. But I gotta give the BratWurst of the week award. Brat said that to the New York Jets. The whole team, the whole franchise, the whole city. Okay? The New York Jets, excuse me, coughing begins. They win the BratWurst of the week, 0-6. The only winless team in football. And I don't see them winning any time soon. So they are the BratWurst of the week. And I have a lot of Jets fans as friends. But I was going to wait till the end of the show, but I wanted to bring it up. Okay, we got 2 more topics to talk about now. I don't really mess with college football. I don't really have a college football team per se. Oh, that's some good stuff. But I do cheer for Notre Dame. I have the top 25: Ohio State, Miami, Indiana, Texas A&M. Teams that I know a lot about, like LSU is number 10, Notre Dame number 13. This was posted a day ago, so these rankings might be different. But one team I do want to talk about, UNLV, the University of Las Vegas, 6-0. I watched the end of that game against Air Force. Air Force isn't a good football team. It's a good military branch. But, wow, 6-0, came back at the end to win. I hope they get a number next to their name. I know historically UNLV isn't one of those like top 25 teams that people care about. But when you're 6-0, shout out to UNLV. I would love to go into one of their games. I really want to start like going to games. I don't think I've ever been to like a college. I don't think so. I know I've never been to a college football game. But that is it for like the college football we talked about. Raiders, let me go back and talk about the Raiders because they won. I'm saying it now because they won, but they still got to get away from Geno Smith. That is just... I don't know who the Raiders have in their depth chart. I think it's like Kenny Pickett and AOC. But, right, AOC, Aiden O'Connor, not the Andrea Cortez. That'd be awesome. But one thing also happened this weekend I do want to talk about, and we got some news, we got some breaking news. In MMA, Charles Oliveira, the legend, Bronx, once again submitted Masurs Gamrot, rear naked choke in the second round. He broke the streak, most submission wins in UFC, most finishes in UFC. Charles, and he is, I get upset. Sometimes I get upset. Because I remember how Charles Oliveira's lightweight championship reign ended. A missed weight by who? A half a pound? What is a half a pound? Seriously. And I call Kabuki on that commissioner. What is a half a pound? Are you even over or under? What just happened? Something just happened? What a memento. Let's see. Score update. Oh, okay. We got Dodgers 2-0. Brewers, bottom of the ninth. Man on second and third. Oh, this is exciting. This is live baseball happening. Postseason baseball. But then he lost his title. Oh, wait. It's, okay. Pop up the second. Oh, now it's 2-1. It's exciting. Okay, go watch it. It's on TV. But that card was awesome. They did a good thing with Jose Aldo. His career, if you know Jose Aldo, WEC featherweight, then he cuts the title, goes on a massive win streak, loses to Conor McGregor in 13 seconds, loses a featherweight championship. I will be honest, I've said this before when I talked about Conor McGregor and his career. I think Jose wins that fight 9 out of 10. Maybe not 9, but 8 out of 10 times. He rushed that, got caught, you know. Then Jose becomes UFC featherweight champion once again. Then he goes on a kind of a losing streak, retires, comes back, misses weight, doesn't look good in his last fight. But Jose Aldo, to me, he's one of the greatest featherweights of all time. You really have to give him, you know, what he did in WC and what he's done. You know, his wins over, let me get his record here. Yeah, I mean, who remembers his wins over, like, Chad Mendez and Uriah Faber in WEC, Kenny Florian, Frankie Edgar a few times. You know, he lost back-to-back to Max, defeated Stevens and Morcano, lost to Volkanovski, you know, and then he went on like a good little run before losing. and then he retired earlier in May. But 32-10, multiple championship reigns. You got to give it to him. You got to give it to Aldo. It was nice that they let him come out to the cage, put his gloves in the middle of the ring, just like the Dudleys did with the boots. I think in UFC it's it's been an hour, folks. I've talked straight for an hour, and I'm proud of myself. But this weekend, UFC Fight Night, D. Riddler versus Allen. If you guys know, D. Riddler is really, I hope I'm saying his name right. I'm trying to learn these names. He is Polish, and I mean, it's not my fault, but I really just I like looking up stuff. That's what his name was. Hold on, folks. Don't worry, nobody's watching anyway. Dude, Riddler, come on, not Louisiana. Yeah. So that's going to be a good fight. But breaking news. Dana White announced UFC 323 in December. The Machine Merab is defending his bantamweight championship for the 4th time in a year. Gonna make history against Peter Yan. They fought once in 2023. Oh, I think the Dodgers just won. Yeah, what? No. Oh, still bottom of the ninth? Man, I'm 1st and 3rd. Oh, I'm going to get off soon. I'm going to watch it. They fought in 2023. Merab won by unanimous decision. It's going to be a good fight. Merab's going to make history. I see Merab winning by unanimous decision, just like he did in the first fight. Also, kind of funny that they announced the UFC Flyweight Championship, Alexander Pahoja versus Joshua Van. And I say that's funny because this weekend in Brazil, one of the fighters who trained with Joshua Van kind of announced it. He's like, oh, I know that they're facing in December. I want to get on that card. And it wasn't announced yet. So he kind of broke the news for everybody. I thought that was funny. And I would love to go to like a UFC fight. I haven't been to a UFC fight since 2011. Yeah, I don't remember his name. I know he won very, very quickly. Looked good. But other than that, I think that is the show. We talked about wrestling. We've been on for an hour. An hour, folks. This is the longest Brat Said That. Thank you for all who came in. I can see you guys. I think I got like 5 viewers. Hey, we're building this up. I know I'm working on stuff. I know sometimes I mumble. I know sometimes I don't, I go on tangents. But we learn, okay? We learn and we keep going. I'm going to go watch the Dodgers hopefully lose. But follow me on Twitter, Brat Said That X. If John Cena is, you should be. Why don't just go right now? Just Brat Said That X. Follow. It would help me out. I think I'm up to like 40 followers. Instagram, Brat Jackson, the O and Jackson, the 0. YouTube, I don't know how YouTube works. It's like just Brat Jackson. I post these things every couple, I come on here every couple of days. This is the longest I've ever been on. I do appreciate everybody stopping by. Yeah, this is really exciting. I might do a lot of like late night Brat Said That because a lot of news breaks during the day, and I've already filmed my show. I know I said I was going to do a watch along or a movie review of the Smashing Machine, but I watched it, and go watch it. I don't know if I'm going to like film one or post one, but I'm definitely going to do Where Brad At for the Lakers and Mavericks game. This is just the beginning. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to take the rest of my Coke Zero. Thank you all. We will be back on the 16th. Regular time, 1 p.m. on the West Coast. And that was it. And as always, remember, sports